And Michelle Feldman will start the semifinal match.
Well, she got through that breakthrough game, Jan.
That was her biggest worry, and look out now. Although right here is the battle of the Bowler of the Year race, -1 person, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, who is also in the heat of that race, but not on this telecast, with one regular event left. And Leanne Barrette has everything riding on this as well.
You might hear some knees knocking between this week and next week.
It is tight. This is the closest race we've had in quite some time here on tour for Bowler of the Year.
She comes up a little light, leaving the 10-pin. She'll switch to a plastic ball to shoot the spare.
Look at that average, 231.02.
And she was second in average to qualify. Wendy was first with 232. She really boomed them.
She did. Appropriate for her nickname, Pwba Barrette. Leanne only had 5 games throughout the week that were below 200.
Well, you know, she missed the cut last week. Her timing was off. Everything was going right. You couldn't throw the ball that far right. She went back. She called her coach back home, Rod Ross. He helped her, talked through her with a few things, and she came in this week a lot more loose, a lot more confident. And you know Leanne's a field player. When that feel's on, forget it. Your history. She's a striking machine.
And going high, leaving the 610.
Now that one there, she probably forced a little bit, which we all do when your carry is a little off.
Some of the high scores this week, 11 of 24 match play finalists, averaged over 200.
31-700 series. Wow. Easy spare for Leanne. Very important to stay on the spares because the strikes are probably going to come. So, especially with these two power players, it's very important to stay on the spares.
Michelle Feldman now in the second frame. And tripping the 10-pin. That's a double for Michelle. Kathy, let's not forget that Michelle's family, who can't be here tonight, Gary and Linda Feldman, along with Bud Harvard, have a 300 award bonus put out there for television.
And shots like this are how to get there.
Exactly.
Something, we don't know what, tapped out the 10-pin, but she's got an early double.
$10,000 on the line if anyone shoots a 300. And Michelle has done it before.
Yes, she has.
Did it on television. First woman to do it. No tap of the 10-pin there. She also has 2 300s already this season.
Now, Michelle will also pick up a plastic ball to shoot at her spare. Earlier in her career, she didn't. But look at how hard she throws the ball. When she learned to straighten it out, it was perfect. She didn't really have to throw a plastic ball, but now she does, just to be that much more accurate.
Space in the fifth frame.
Leanne Barrette with 2 spares, trying to get lined up here. Kathy White, she has an odd stance. She's been working, we talked about that a little before, but that's to relieve pressure.
She's had a hip problem, so she went home, worked again with Rod Ross once again, and she really worked on a way to take the pressure off her hip in her stance just to get herself started, to take the pressure off. It's very important to be comfortable when you start, because if you're not comfortable in the beginning, you're probably not going to be on very good balance at the end. And although it looks a little odd, it obviously hasn't affected her scoring because she's just bowling out of this world this year.
Leanne just averaging 200 on this pair, actually low, considering she averaged 231 for the tournament. This was definitely one of her weaker pairs. She converts the 3-pin, and Kathy, she enjoyed herself this week, and she talked to us last night and said, hey, what a great time. We had tours of Navy ships, the Fitzgerald and the Oldendorf. Did you go on the tours?
I went on the USS Oldendorf, and we have to say hello to our Petty Officer Gentry Skinner, Petty Officer Renee Banks, and Damage Controlman Claudia Gawson. And let me tell you, she's the only woman that does one certain job as a firefighter on that ship. It's very, very interesting.
Wow.
Controls, gadgets, just like bowling. The technology is overwhelming.
Leanne Barrette now down by 12 pins on our Travelodge scoreboard. 210. And you'll see Leanne Barrette leave a fair amount of splits or artwork because of the hook that she throws and the lateness of her ball coming into the pocket.
Most of the power players, such as Leanne, look at the rotation. What beautiful ball roll she has, such a powerful release. But now it's not getting into the pocket quick enough. She leaves the 210, which is spareable. But she obviously made a move off of going high twice.
Oh, and she gave it a run. This fall, she hasn't left that spare on television, so I can't.
We can see here she picks up her plastic ball, just gets it to the left of the 2-pin, not far enough to slide it over to kick out the 10. Might be a little nervous. There's a lot riding on tonight.
Michelle Feldman's average up this year, and she quickly up to leave a 4-pin. And Kathy, a large part is her maturity in shooting spares and trying different lines, different equipment, things she wasn't willing to do in the past.
And I'm not even so sure it wasn't she. You're right, she wasn't willing to do it. It's a maturity factor, but I don't think she even knew to do it. Because when you have one thing that works so well, why change it?
Everybody on our show tonight has a title so far this year, with the exception of our top seed, Wendy McPherson, who desperately needs one to extend her streak. But there you see Leanne on top with 3. Carolyn Doran-Ballard with 2, Michelle Feldman with 2, and a host of others with just 1 title so far this year.
2 new champions this year, Brenda Norman and Tiffany Stambro.
That was exciting last week when Tiffany won
Very
her first
exciting.
event. Big strike from Michelle Feldman. We'll be right back with more bowling from Admiral Robinson Recreation Center. Through 4.5, Michelle Feldman has the edge. Stay with us. As part of this event, the fans at the Admiral Robinson Recreation Center retreated to the first ever PWBA Team USA Pacific Showdown, sponsored by Ebonite International, followed by a dinner presented by 12 Strike. Team USA Executive Director Jerry Koenig was on hand for this event. The event pitted members of Team PWBA, Team USA, Team USA alumni, and Team Australia in a showdown. Points were awarded based on individual finishing positions in each match. The top 2 teams, USA alumni and PWBA, which included 7 of the top 8 ranked PWBA athletes, then faced off in a best-of-3 Baker format for the championship. Game 1 set the tone for the bout as the alumni, anchored by Kendra Gaines, won 235 to 231 after the Maryland native marked twice in the 10th. In Game 2, the alumni had their chance to shut out Team PWBA, but Liz Johnson failed to carry a double in the 10th, giving the PWBA new life. With elimination at stake, Barrette stepped up to the approach, needing a strike. A well-placed messenger took out the 10-pin, giving the PWBA Game 2, 226 to 217. The deciding game, strikes were abundant for both teams, but it came down to the final shots. Barrette could have ended the alums' chances with a double in the 10th, but Lady Luck went the alums' way. Barrette was greeted with that 4-9 split, and she failed to convert, leaving it up to Johnson for the alums. Needing just 9 pins, she left. There it is, the 410. But she easily knocked on the 4-pin, winning the game, 227 to 226. Final score, alums 2, PWBA 1, so Team USA alumni took home the championship trophy presented to them by the executive officer of the San Diego Naval Base, Caroline Olinger. Looked like a good time, and we're back in the 7th frame of the semifinal match. We have a showdown of our own going on. Right now, Michelle Feldman out in front by 44 pins. Leanne Barrette on the approach in the 7th can take that to 34 with a strike here.
She left a flat 10, and now she's doubled. So maybe that's going to give her a little bit of spark of hope here, because she's throwing the ball very well.
Trailing now by 34. With one more strike, she can take it to 24, so she's still in this match. Needs to put a little pressure back on Michelle Feldman.
It's important to make sure that your game is always sharp mentally and physically, because if you're throwing the ball well, even if you're in the wrong ball, you could attempt to do damage control, not get too far down. Now that she switched balls, it looks like she's gotten a little looser. Her arm swing's a lot looser.
She shot one of the 300s this week.
She was right next to me when she did it.
Really? You did as well, and Marion DeRupo as well, who you saw in the first match. 3 300s during the tournament so far.
So far.
Oh,
The break she probably needed to at least keep her in the game. Huge.
Definitely had to strike there. That takes it to 24 pins. Michelle Feldman, though, on a 3-bagger, can take it back to 34. And I wonder how she's feeling now, Kathy. She said it was the most nervous she has ever been throwing that fill ball last night. She had to strike to make the show. Well, looks pretty comfortable.
She looked more nervous last night than she does tonight.
It was a tight race going in. Marcia Kamrowski was in 5th going into that match. She actually is 5th in average. Bad match play record, though. Liz Johnson, Kendra Gaines, all of them in contention going into that last game.
Well, in 12th, we have Carol Giannotti. Block was bowling extremely well coming back after a second knee surgery. And Tiffany Stambro, last week's champion, first-time winner. And I really like that girl in 15th.
You do?
Yes.
Laura Lee Daniel, another good finish for her. Car Honeychurch, runner-up player of the year, back out on tour now. There's our statistician next to me, Tammy Turner. She's sitting in the booth doing the numbers. And I'll focus in on that shot in a minute. Michelle Feldman with a big strike. And all of the naval people having a great time. Kudos to the U.S. Navy. Boy, they really know how to put on an event.
It was wonderful here. Beautiful bowling center. Great support. Everyone's polite, willing to help, give you directions, whatever you needed. It was great.
Going up high, you know, so Leanne is just not really ever gotten comfortable on the lanes today. She, you know, we talked about the great time she had, the good event. She also did something else at the beginning of this tournament. She had an opportunity to bowl with Pete Rose against Kim Terrell, bowling with Tom Arnold on the Best Damn Sports Show, and they had a wonderful time.
She said they treated them like real celebrities. They were asked to come into the green room, which I guess is the big celebrity room. She says they talked to us like we were really, really famous and popular. And I said, but to us, you are.
Well, they are.
Absolutely. And she said it was a wonderful experience.
Well, right now, her experience isn't so good at the end of this week. Best she could shoot would be 212. So Michelle Feldman pretty much has this in her hip pocket.
Well, this was Leanne's 98th career TV appearance. I guarantee you she will reach 100 along with Wendy.
Well, she still has 3 titles. So Michelle Feldman will move
Feldman
on.
performed well.
First when we return as sneak
Like
peek,
and subscribe.
who will be inducted into the WIBC Hall of Fame in this week's WIBC Extra Frames.